I'm a 27-year-old woman, and my boyfriend, also 27, and I have been in a relationship for 5 years. We took a big step early on by moving in together, and for a long time, everything felt perfect. We built a life that seemed solid, shared routines, mutual support, and a sense of partnership. But things started shifting last November, and now, as I sit here reflecting, it feels like that life has crumbled into something unrecognizable. It all began with a seemingly small decision: getting a cat. I've always adored animals, especially cats, and back in 2021, I floated the idea to him. He wasn't keen, said he wasn't a pet person, and pointed out our busy full-time jobs as a reason it wouldn't work. His logic made sense. So I let it go, even though a part of me still longed for that companionship. Then, out of the blue in August 2022, he surprised me by suggesting we get one. He knew how much it meant to me, and I was ecstatic. By October, we welcomed our first kitten into our home, and I was overjoyed. 2 months later, in December, I pushed for a second one. Cats thrive with company, I explained, and though he hesitated, I convinced him. Now we had 2 little bundles of energy, and I couldn't have been happier. They're a lot of work. Cleaning litter boxes, vacuuming fur, keeping up with their playfulness, but to me, they're worth every second. I've taken on their care entirely. He's only had to step in a handful of times when I was away for work. But beneath this joy, cracks were forming. A couple of months ago, we had a massive argument, one that laid bare issues I hadn't fully faced. Trust had been eroding for a while. I'd caught him lying more than once, little things that piled up and left me questioning him. During this fight, he dropped a bombshell. He said the cats made him uncomfortable. Their scampering and playing set him on edge, and he didn't like the cat tree or toys scattered around our home. Then he went further. He wanted them gone. I was stunned. I told him I'd never abandon pets. They're family to me. Growing up, my family always had animals. Our last dog lived with us for 17 years until she passed, and I see them as a lifelong commitment. I promise we find a way to make it work, since I handle all their care and keep the house clean despite their inevitable messes. Cats aren't like dogs. They have their own wild streak, but ours are sweet and affectionate. I thought we'd reached an understanding. Then, a month ago, another fight erupted. Not about the cats at first, but they came up again. He insisted he couldn't relax at home with them around, and demanded they leave. I held firm. They're staying. He admitted suggesting the first cat was his idea, but said he regretted it. The conversation spiraled, and then he hit me with something else. He wasn't sure he wanted kids. I froze. We'd never had a deep talk about it, but I'd always assumed we were aligned. I'd mentioned kids when dreaming about our future, and he'd never objected. He clarified it wasn't a hard no, just that he couldn't picture it now. I admitted I wasn't ready either. We're young, career-focused, but I know I want to be a mom someday. It's a core part of who I am. I asked him to be honest with himself and me, since this could be a deal breaker, but I didn't push for an immediate answer. I figured in a year or 2, we'd revisit it. Yesterday, everything unraveled. We fought again, tension still thick from our unresolved issues. He reiterated the cats had to go. I said no. He accused me of choosing them over him, which stung. I explained they're not disposable. Then kids came up again. This time he was certain, no kids. Not now, not ever. I asked if he was serious. He asked if I was sure I wanted them. Yes, I said. He laid out his vision. No cats, no pets, no kids, just us. He asked if he wasn't enough. I told him he makes me happy, but I'd be lying if I said I'd be fulfilled without kids. Silence hung heavy. He left to see a friend, and I've been alone, replaying it all, terrified this is the end. 3 months ago, I thought we'd marry and start family. Last year, I expected a proposal. Now I'm doubting everything. What if we split, and I never find someone to build that future with? Living abroad, far from my family and friends, makes it worse. I feel isolated, scared, and lost. Here's where it gets uglier. Trust issues? They stem from him lying about drinks with a co-worker last December, right after my birthday. I'd already sensed something off about her, and when I confronted him, he swore it was nothing and promised transparency. I forgave him. Then, 2 months later, I saw a long text from her on his phone. He brushed it off, refused to show me, then admitted it was her, work-related, he claimed, just friendly banter. I set clear boundaries. He said he'd respect them. I trusted him again. My mistake. Last night, after our latest fight, he left for fresh air. Hours passed. A friend texted, asking to come over with another friend. Unusual, since we usually hang out in groups. When they arrived, their faces said it all. One was near tears. She'd seen him at a terrace with that co-worker, holding hands. She confronted them. He acted casual. Then she told me. Rage replaced my sadness. I couldn't wait at home, so we drove near her place. Within minutes, we saw them on a scooter. She clung to him, laughing. They parked, and he hugged her from behind, kissed her cheek, and draped an arm around her as they walked inside. My friend recorded it. I stormed over, called him out, and told him we were done. He chased after me, claiming he'd gone to her for advice about kids, that the kiss was a thank you, that he hadn't slept with her. I pointed to the video. He denied parts of it. I'm heartbroken, but grateful my friends were there. Without proof, he'd have gaslight me further. 2 months later, more truth trickled out. I found zoo receipts and train tickets from May, a holiday he'd claimed to work. He'd gone with her. Confronted, he admitted to seeing her secretly since December. 4 or 5 times, he said, though I suspect more. He confessed to kissing her, but swore it was only that. His excuse? Stress from work and our fights. He didn't call it cheating. I did. He's begged for another chance, saying he loves me and it was a mistake. I said mistakes don't happen repeatedly. They're choices. I found an apartment for me and my cats, a miracle in this city, and I'm moving soon. Therapy is helping me untangle my emotions. I'm hurt but hopeful, thanks to strangers online who've made me feel less alone. Then there's another story echoing mine. A woman, engaged for 2.5 years after dating for 3, had a fiancé whose best friend despised her. For 6 years, this friend ignored her, only lighting up for him. She'd dodge eye contact, snub greetings, yet fawn over him in her presence. After complaining, her fiancé demanded proof, then half-heartedly addressed it. At a party, the friend's avoidance was blatant. Fed up, she banned her from their wedding, sparking a fight. He admitted the friend treated her like garbage, but defended her, saying, "What if we break up?" That broke her. She ended it, realizing he wouldn't protect her. Now, she's in therapy, picking up piano and reclaiming herself. Both our stories scream the same lesson. Love shouldn't mean sacrificing your worth. I'm scared, but I'm choosing me.